Evening, and thank you for attending tonight's public hearing on Tuesday, January 20th, 2015. At this time, I'd ask if you'd please turn off all cell phones, pagers, electronic devices that may interrupt this evening's proceedings. Will everyone please stand to salute the flag? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In order that you understand the proceedings tonight at this public hearing, each speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak. As your time begins to wind down, there will be a flashing light on the microphone that approximates that you have 30 seconds left to wind up your testimony. As soon as the 3 minutes is concluded, the microphone will turn off. Speakers who arrive late for the public hearing will be given the opportunity to speak after all speakers present have spoken. This evening's public hearing will be moderated by Erica Fairby Jones. In order to better accommodate all speakers, the speaker's podium is located by the center doors where the center steps are located. As your name is called, we'd ask that you please go out into the hall and ready yourself to give your testimony. The microphone is powerful enough. There's no need to bend over it. We'll pick up your voice as long as you push the button and it starts going. Ms. Jones will call speakers one at a time. And as we mentioned, we ask that when your name is called that you please go out in the hallway in the order that your name has been announced. When it's your time to speak, a member of the administration will come up to you and get copies of your testimony to be distributed to board members. Ms. Jones, please proceed with calling our first speaker.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sumter. Our first three speakers will be Dante Carter, number 2, Rachel Filippini, and number 3, Louis Schoen. Mr. Carter?
Good evening, board members. Hi, my name is Dante Carter from University Prep High School. I'm here to talk about the GLOW program in my school and what it means to me. The GLOW program is a place after school for me to go for homework help, a place to hang out and talk to friends and even talk about the world, about the life and the deaths of African Americans. I enjoy my time in the GLOW program because inside the Unity Circle, which means we all gather around in a huge circle to start the program. In the Unity Circle, we play African drums and learn African rhythms that they will play in Africa. We would have Mr. RJ would do a spoken word or raps. Sometimes I would go and also do spoken word, and everybody enjoys it. In the Unity Circles, sometimes we would have fun and dance and while we would play the African drums. Through the GLOW program, I have entered another program where I would go down to the elementary school WOW and read to the kids that had the most trouble reading. What we do is encourage the kids to read when they're at home with their parents so they don't just read when they're with us, because our goal is to help the kids get back on the same level as their classmates. The GLOW program has been effective for me because on the first report card I have had all C's and a 2.0. And it's through the GLOW program they have encouraged me to work harder during school and bring my grades up. And I have started to bring my grades up slowly and start working more at home and during after school. This is what the GLOW program means to me. I have met wonderful people in the program and have met a lot of people like Leon Ford and Mr. Jason Rivers, the husband of our very own Miss Carla Rivers. But to wrap up, the GLOW program has so far continues to be the best of my high school year so far. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Speaker number 2.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Rachel Filippini, and I'm the Executive Director of the Group Against Smog and Pollution, or GASP. For more than 45 years, we've worked to improve air quality in southwestern Pennsylvania through education, advocacy, and litigation. One of the causes of our region's air pollution is diesel emissions, and one of the sources of the diesel emissions are school buses. For many years now, we have worked with Pittsburgh Public Schools to reduce emissions from school buses that seriously impact student, driver, and community health. You may recall our work to establish the Healthy School Bus Fund, and more recently, our support of including a requirement in the contracts you have with the school bus companies that school buses clean up, which involves using retrofit or new buses within 5 years. We are aware and disappointed that there has been limited success in making that requirement stick. Tonight, however, I'm here to specifically talk about school bus idling. Diesel exhaust from idling contains significant levels of small particles known as fine particulate matter. Fine particles pose a significant health risk. They can pass through the nose and throat and lodge themselves in the lungs or pass into the bloodstream. These particles are linked to asthma attacks, heart attacks, cancer, stroke, diabetes, and reduced brain function. Children are especially vulnerable as their bodies, including their respiratory systems and brains, are still developing, and because they breathe at a faster rate than adults do. To help prevent unnecessary idling by school buses and other large diesel vehicles, in 2009, the Pennsylvania legislature passed anti-idling legislation. In general, the law says that drivers of commercial diesel-powered vehicles, including school buses, can only idle 5 minutes in an hour. If there are passengers aboard, buses can idle for up to 15 minutes during an hour. The law also mandates that schools post signs reminding drivers about the law. Unfortunately, not all school bus drivers are complying with the law. In 2014, GASP and several other environmental, community, and health-based organizations conducted school bus idling observations to try to determine just how big of a problem idling is at Pittsburgh Public Schools. In both the spring and fall, we found roughly 1/3 of all school buses idling beyond the allowable 5 minutes. We also found at that time that the required diesel idling signage was not posted at any of the schools. I'm pleased to report that we have noticed many more signs posted at this time. In fact, in a recent conversation, I understand all the signs are posted. And if you do need any more, we have lots more that we can provide to you for free. But in addition, we'd like to make the following recommendations. 1, ensure all school staff are aware of the idling law and empower your school bus monitors to inform school bus drivers who are idling that they must turn off their engines because idling is both unhealthy and illegal. Notify the school bus companies that you work with that the law is serious and you're not going to tolerate violations. And during your bus contract negotiations, we'd encourage you to require bus companies you work with to train their drivers about the law and even include a clause in the contract prohibiting unnecessary idling.
Thank you so much. We do have your testimony. Thank you. Speaker number 3, Louis Schoen. Our next 4 speakers will be Terea Franklin, number 5, Parrish Crawford, and number 6, Mr. John Canning. Number 4, Ms. Franklin.
Hello everyone. My name is Terea Franklin, and I'm here to talk to you about Pittsburgh Glow Service Learning Program. In our service learning program, we take 1 day out of the week to read to a child in grades kindergarten and first grade that attends Wild Elementary on the Hill. This program is very important to me because it gives the children more help with their reading skills, and it puts a smile on their faces. Every time I go and read to them, they come up to me and my peers to hug us and jump on us because they missed us so much. When I go to the library to pick out a book, I think about whether or not my child will like this book, will it help them with his reading skills, and will it make him laugh. My child loves it when I come to read to him every Wednesday. From the time I'm there to the time I leave, he is smiling and laughing. While we're reading a book, I stop and ask questions to make sure he's following along. I ask him, what words do you know and what words do you not know? If he doesn't know a word, I help him sound it out, and eventually he figures out what the word it says. After we're done with the book, I'll have him write his name, the title of the book, and a sentence he learned about the book. He also draws pictures. Doing this service learning helps the kids, but it also helps me as a leader in training, and it helps me to learn that there's nothing wrong with helping anyone, child or adult. The outcome of the help is the reward. So in closing, I would advise everyone to help someone out that you see is in need. If I can help a child read, you can help someone in need. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 5, Mr. Crawford, excuse me.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. First, I'd like to give special honor and respect to the Pittsburgh Public Schools Superintendent, Dr. Linda Lane, the Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Burgess, to all other members of the board, to my principal, Ms. Melissa Fries, and last but not least, to my employer, Executive Director of Neighborhood Learning Alliance, Mr. Steve McIsaac. It's a pleasure to stand before you all. My name is Paris Crawford. I am a sophomore at Taylor Alderdice High School. My mother, Carla Rivers, is a Pittsburgh Glow Site Coordinator and a student advocate for the Pittsburgh program Everybody Graduates. My father, Jason Rivers, is the manager at the Office of Equity and the manager of the We Promise program. I currently receive a stipend from Neighborhood Learning Alliance for participating in their Reading Warrior program. Monday through Thursday, Neighborhood Learning Alliance sends high school students throughout schools across the city, to elementary schools across the city, to help the kids in proceeding in the proficiency of their literacy. This is a process that allows high school students such as myself to experience the importance of selflessness in giving back to the community. This also allows many young African American children to witness positive role models in action. It is not too far-fetched to say that from coming from these broken and underprivileged communities, that our program is a highlight part of their day, every day. The progress made with the Neighborhood Learning Alliance and the Reading Warrior program with the students every day is a constant reminder that broken can be beautiful. For the world's greatest wonders were found in pieces. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. John Canning.
Good evening. Many years ago, when I was entering the teacher profession, I read a memorable work by Jacques Barzun titled Teaching in America. And one of his central points was to look at teaching as a craft, and every year provides an opportunity for that craft to be honed and improved. This perception is as important in the opening of the 21st century as it was in times past. For the past several years, a number of my Northside neighbors, who as members of our Northside Leadership Education Committee have come to speak to you, and I'm sure you sometimes get tired of us. Directors of our desire to improve the programs in the environments in all the public schools in our part of the city. And I thank you for listening to our concerns. This evening, I'd like to speak to you about the critical importance of continuity of administrative leadership in those schools. I'm speaking here of building principals. Building principals should be both the educational leaders in the school as well as the one individual that creates and supports a stable and supportive environment for teachers and students alike. Indeed, they set the stage for teachers to work their craft, for students to feel secure, and for parents to develop relationships with the person in charge. Over time, we've noticed frequent changing of school principals, and that significantly undermines the effective working of a school. And I'm here tonight to say that that should stop. Several of Northside schools have experienced the district's seemingly inability to encourage and foster continuity of building principals. Frequent turnover of building leadership seems to be accompanied with frequent turnover of teaching staff. Simply put, this pattern is not a good place for the craft of teaching to be strengthened, nor for the best possible learning environments for our children. I would encourage you as a school board to work with Dr. Lane and the central administrative staff to work diligently to minimize the negative effect that comes from a pattern of shifting building leaderships. I am certain that we Northside folks are no different than residents throughout the city who want every school to have a stable staff of skilled and experienced administrators and teachers. And I thank you this evening for listening and the time you spend, because I know you spend a lot of time on the very serious business of educating the generation for the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Speaker number 7, Chelsea Holmes.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak at this meeting. My name is Chelsea Holmes, and I am the program coordinator at Women for a Healthy Environment. Our organization's mission is to educate and empower the community about environmental health risks and to advocate for policy solutions that better protect our health. Our work includes creating healthy homes, healthy workplaces, and healthy schools. During the last 5 years, Women for a Healthy Environment has delivered environmental health curricula to Pittsburgh Public Schools, including Oliver Citywide Academy, Alderdice, and Westinghouse High Schools. In addition, Women for a Healthy Environment has worked with students from all of the high schools through its summer programming. As you may be aware, diesel bus idling is a major contributor to pollution in our region. Diesel exhaust is a complex mixture of thousands of gases and fine particles, commonly known as soot, that contains more than 40 toxic air contaminants. These include many known or suspected cancer-causing substances such as benzene, arsenic, and formaldehyde. It also contains other harmful pollutants, including nitrogen oxides, which is a component of urban smog. The microscopic particles, or particulate matter, in diesel exhaust are less than 1/5 of the thickness of a human hair and are small enough to penetrate deep into the lungs, where they contribute to a range of health problems. Air pollution caused by idling enters the school building through open doors and windows and air intake systems, introducing toxic chemicals to learning environments. Children are especially vulnerable to the toxic effects of diesel exhaust. Children's respiratory systems are not fully developed. Due to their smaller body size, children inhale more air per pound of body weight than adults. Further exposure to diesel exhaust exacerbates allergies and asthma and causes respiratory distress. It has been linked to such illnesses such as heart disease, stroke, and certain cancers. We are recommending that the Board of Directors and school district personnel implement the following action items. 1, ensure that new bus contracts include 2 elements: incorporation of diesel bus idling in annual training that school bus companies provide to drivers, and assurance that school bus companies have retrofitted older buses or purchased new ones to ensure protection of children's health. 2, provide anti-bus idling information to all Pittsburgh Public School faculty and staff so everyone in the district is informed and educated on the issue of bus idling. 3, request the support of crossing guards and bus monitors who can provide reminders to school bus drivers who are breaking the anti-idling law during drop-off and pickup times. And 4, review bus loading and unloading zones to ensure that diesel exhaust is not entering the school building through air intakes. Thank you for your time and attention this evening. Together we can all make a positive impact to the health and well-being of everyone in the school community, including our most vulnerable population, our children.
Thank you so much for your time. The speaker number 3, Louis Schoen. Mr. Sommer, this concludes the testimony for this evening's public hearing.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Jones. Thank you very much for the This public hearing is now adjourned.